Everyone, this is my very first video that goes to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to explain you the problem and also the solution for Leetcode 1358. Let me read out the title of the problem. Number of substrings containing all three characters. Given a string is containing only of characters A, B and C. So there are a few keywords I must look into for in a question. Over here it says that consisting only of characters A, B and C, and in the next line it says return the number of substrings. So the output is the number of substring containing at least one occurrence of these characters A, B and C. So let us first of all go through what is a substring. Let's say that we have an input S, A, B, C and A, B, C. In this A, B, C and A, B, C, it's a full string, and in this substring is a part of the string that is contiguous. For example, A, B and C, it's a continuous sequence of characters. We do not skip any characters. It's a substring. A, B is also a substring. A character in itself is a substring of this entire string, but if we try to formulate a string as an A, B and B over here, this is 0th index, this is first index, second index, third index, fourth and fifth. If we take the 0th index A, first index B and fourth index B, over here we have A, B and B. It's not a substring because if you see we have skipped C and A. It's called a subsequence because in subsequence we basically respect the relative order of the characters, but we may skip some characters. But in substring it should be exactly in the same order and do not skip anything. So we have to first of all find the number of substring which contains at least one occurrences of these three characters. That means we in the substring we need at least one A, at least one B and at least one C. So in this case, if we need at least one A, one B and one C, we know for sure that the minimum length of a substring would be 3 over here, and this string will only contain A, B and C. So if we go to the brute force solution, the brute force solution would look like this. We have A, B, C, A, B, C. We would have a variable that we'll call as, let's say, number of substring of 3 characters, and in that we'll initially give the value as 0. In this case we'll have a for loop. The outer for loop will go from 0th index and the inner for loop will start from the first index, and in this case we'll also have a hash map. Hash map will keep in account the frequency of each character. Let me first do a dry run. In this case we go first A, and inside we'll start up with B. In the first index we have a frequency of A as 1, B as 1, C as 1. Over here we already got the ABC. We'll have a valid condition. The valid condition will contain if we have a single occurrences of A, if we have a single occurrence of B, if we have a single occurrence of C. In that case we can say that it's a valid condition. It should also just take into account that it should be greater than equal to 1, not just equal to 1, because if you have two A's as well, that is also a valid condition along with B and C. So we found the first substring. Now we go over A, B, C, A. Since we already have a valid condition, anything that we add to this substring will always follow this valid condition. For example, if we already have found A, B and C, each have a frequency of 1, that satisfies this condition containing at least one occurrence of all these characters A, B and C. Anything that we add to it, be it A, be it a C or be it a B, this will always follow the valid condition because we're only adding A, B and C, and as we know from the question it only consists of characters A, B and C. So here on, if we get over here, it will be a second substring. A, B, C was the first substring, A, B, C is the second substring, A, B, C, A, B is a fourth substring, third substring, and A, B, C, A, B, C is the fourth substring. Over here the substring may be duplicate. If we see the substrings containing at least one occurrences of characters A, B and C, A, B, C and A, B, C both are actually duplicates. So we need, let's say that we have this scenario in interviews, in an interview setup. In this case we need to ask this edge cases, do we allow duplicate substrings or not? So this question is expected from an interview perspective. So now this will be n square because we are basically iterating over first A, the rest of the elements, then B, the rest of the elements, then C, rest of the elements. So in this case, but the constant is 5 into 10 to the 4. So this would be TLE over here. So what would be a better approach over here? The better approach over here, if you look at the intuition, we already know that if we have got A, B, C over here, we can calculate the rest of the substrings from ACB, because we already have ABC. If we add this one, it will be ABCA. If we add this one, it will be a new substring ABCAC, and it will add this one, it will be ABCACB. So let's say that we are at 0th index, 1st index, 2nd index, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Let's assume that we are at 2nd index, and we already hit the valid condition wherein we already have a frequency of A as 1, B as 1, and C as 1. And here on we go to 3rd index, we can calculate the number of substring further, because as we already know that if we have found a valid condition, rest of the addition of substring will always follow the valid condition. So in this case, we can say that the length of the string is 6, and currently we're at 2nd index, and we can say that safely say we can form 4 more substring if we go till the end: ABC, ABCA, ABCAC, and ABCACB, because these three are going to add to it. How do we find this is 3 more? Because we have A, B, and C. There are 3 more characters after this, and this is already a valid substring. Let's keep into account this thing. So in this case, we do not need to now go loop over the rest of the elements. That's the first thing. Now if you see over here in the second, while we are going through the brute force solution, first of all we are going through A, then we are going to B. So this is like we are decreasing a window. Let's say we just imagine this is a sliding window problem. In this case, first of all, we try to increase the window till ABC until we find a valid condition. Now we found the valid condition. Once we find the valid condition, we can of course calculate the rest of the substring for rest of the elements that are present at ABC. So now let's say we already found it as 4. Now we'll try to decrease the window until we find a non-valid case, in which let's say we start from left, we decrease window and subsequently also decrease the frequency. In this case we have now B and C. It's not a valid condition now. Now we will again try to increase the window from the right hand side, BCA. This is again a valid condition. Now we will also use the same formula to calculate the substring for rest of the elements. In this case it will be 3. So for the first we have 4, then we had 3. Now again we find a valid condition, we'll try to decrease the window size from the left, then window size is now CA, we'll try to decrease it, pardon my cursor thing. So we have now CA, and now we'll try to increase from the right hand side the window. It will be CA and B, and the CA and B is a valid condition because we have occurrences of A1s, B1s, and C1s in which this condition. So now we'll have 2 such cases, plus 2, because we had found CAB and we had C, so CABC. CAB and CABC are 2 substring. We'll use the same formula, length minus the current index, we'll get the number of substring further. Now CAB is valid condition, we again try to shrink it from the left. Now we're left with A and B, and now A and B is not a valid condition. We now expand the window from the right, that is now ABC. Now ABC is a valid substring, and we see that this is the end of the array. There is no further elements apart from C over here. So now we'll only have a single substring, so this will be 1, and 4 plus 3 is equal to 7, plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 10. 3 plus 4 plus 3 7, plus 2 9, plus 1 10, and we found that this is total output of 10. I hope this makes sense. Let me go to the solution and let me explain you the solution. Let me go, this took me first about TLE, I did it very long back, but I tried it today itself, and I will try to see the notes over here. I'll try to also show you the notes. Here we use sliding window technique to evaluate the question, and we say, I'll try to show you the code itself to be much more easier. This is the function in JavaScript, number of strings. It accepts input s. First of all, we'll calculate and cache the variable input length, and now we will have a variable, let substring count to 3 characters. This will be our output. Initially we'll assign it to 0. Now since it's only 3 characters, I have directly assigned them A, B, and C, and with initial value of 0, 0, 0. This will store the character frequency. Character A will have frequency 0, B will have frequency 0, C will have frequency 0. Now we'll try to put sliding window algorithm to this, and sliding window will have, let's say, left window. This is the left window, and this is the right one. The right one will be a loop that will loop from the 0th index till the last index of this input length. Now the current character, that is s of right, and the for loop, this is the initial index, s of right will give us A, and now character frequency will increase a as 1 now while is valid condition. Now this while block will check if it is valid condition. If it is valid condition, we'll try to shrink the window until it is not a valid condition. Now what will is valid check? Is valid is a method that I have defined outside of the number of substrings method. Is valid will take something called as frequency, and we'll check if we have frequency of a is greater than 1, if frequency of b is greater than equal to 1, and frequency of c is greater than equal to 1, then it is a valid condition. I'm trying to enforce boolean constructor so that we have a boolean that is returned to while loop. Now inside of this, if it is valid, what we do is that we use the formula to calculate all of the substrings that we have calculated till now. If we are at a b c, so it will be the input length, that is total of 6 in this case, minus right will have the valid condition at a b and c as a second index that contains c. So now it will be 4 initially, and then we will decrease the window size. To decrease the window size, first of all we will decrease the character frequency of sf left was initially about a, and we increase left plus plus, so that will decrease the window size. Now the previous substring was abc. After decreasing the window size, it will be b and c, and once we try b and c with character frequency, we see that bc is not a valid condition, and this will go out of the while loop. Once it goes out of the while loop, we again go to the next for loop condition, right is equal to 1, so we'll have b over here. We similarly go over there. If b, we now currently have b and c over here. In the character frequency, we have b as 1, c as 1, and now we go to b over here, then c, then a. Again we'll find this condition, and hence it goes on until we find the number of substrings characters. And after summation, this is the submitted answer. This is the runtime bit 65.35%, and the time complexity over here will be big O of n. Thank you.